Hello, hello. Okay, great. I'm live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our day 4. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe how quickly this week has gone. It is officially day 4 of our 5-day challenge. Tomorrow is the last day. My little baby hair is doing its own thing. Yeah, we have one day left. Well, we have today. But you definitely want to make sure you tune into tomorrow. I also have a little surprise happening on Saturday. So you can watch these videos back at any point. They're going to stay up here forever in this group. So don't feel pressured if you missed Tuesday and Thursday or you need to catch up. You can take this time this weekend, but I might also have a fun little surprise for free, some extra goodies coming at you on Saturday. So I'm also excited for that. And today we're going to talk about repurposing your content. And then tomorrow might be my favorite day because we're talking engagement strategies. And I think there's a lot on there that you probably have never heard of or don't realize how effective it could be. So definitely make sure you tune in tomorrow because it's one thing to make incredible content, which is the whole point of this is to make great content because there's a saying in the music industry, it always starts with a song. The marketing efforts can definitely help it reach more people, but if it's not a great song or if it's not a great video, then it's much harder to get the engagement even if you get in front of the right audience, right? So my goal is definitely we've got to make something great and valuable and it look good and you look confident on video. And then the last day being, okay, even if you have this incredible piece, now we got to get it in front of people. Otherwise, there's just this incredible piece of content that people don't know is there. So it really is kind of a combination between the two. And I'm gonna go ahead and apologize. They're blowing leaves and stuff out back. So if you just hear that going on, that's what's going on. So I see, okay, some comments and some views. So I just wanted to make sure. Hello, Kelly. I saw your note about editing ums. So we're going to actually talk about that today too. So I'll make sure that I actually show you how to edit out small clips, like whether there's dead space in the middle, there's ums. Again, maybe you have a cough or a sneeze or something's happening that you just need to take out in the middle of your video. So we're going to talk about that. And then I'm going to show you how to kind of repurpose everything. And then I'll give you your homework assignment. So let me go ahead and share my screen and we'll get going. I'm going to start presenting first, and here we go. Okay, hopefully everyone can see my screen here. Again, it is day 4. Tomorrow is our last day, so make sure you tune in because we got goodies, we got surprises. I'm excited. Okay, great. First things first, we've been doing this all week. Why would we stop now? Let's just talk some housekeeping stuff. Again, this is day 4 of 5. So all of these lives are currently on here. If you missed any of the previous days, you can just scroll down, find them. We had some struggles in the beginning of where the content, because it's video. I've done other challenges where people can just put the content in the post, but there's some issues with videos and video links. So I gave an email address in yesterday's post. I will plug it into today's post and in the other posts as well on where you can submit that homework if you would like feedback. And I also talked to someone yesterday who was like, hey, I started strong and it's Wednesday and now I'm getting behind on the videos. So I haven't done my homework yet, but I would like feedback. I will give feedback all through the weekend. And so if you are wanting to catch up this weekend and send even, day 3, day 4 homework, I will happily give you feedback customized to you, what's looking good on your end, what maybe I give suggestions on or would tweak to make it even better. So don't feel like it's not worth sending if you've missed that day. You can go ahead and send it and I will give you real-time feedback. And then the last housekeeping thing is we got some giveaways. So I'm gonna talk about that really quick. We've already talked about it a bunch, so I don't wanna waste too much time, and then we'll dive in. We're talking repurposing our content. Oh, I'm so excited. And then you'll have a little homework assignment. First things first, the big referral prize. We have a couple people gunning for this and I'm so excited because it will be a 90-minute strategy session. Usually these go for upwards of $200, $300. This will be completely free. you will get a form prior to our call, and it will basically kind of help me guide the conversation, because like what I that's my little pupperoo. Hopefully the goal here is that I'm not expecting you to know what to ask or how to guide it. So this allows me to ask you some questions on what you're struggling with, what you want to get out of your social media, where you want it to take you. Is it more sales? Do you want email subscribers? Do you want more follows? Do you want more brand deals? Whatever it is, this helps guide the conversation. So I have a little bit more background, and then I can look up your socials, see where we're starting. And then these 90 minutes can be whatever you want. We can do trainings and talk about creating content. We can have a brainstorm session and brainstorm all these content ideas based on your goals, whether it's sales, whether it's email list subscribers, whether it's social followers. Basically everything's customized, and then you leave with a digital copy of everything we discussed. It's formatted, it's beautiful, it's branded, and you have your next steps. You have your marching orders, and we could even create a content calendar if you wanted in real time and plan out your next 90 days, your 6 month, like whatever you want. You've got 90 minutes. I'll do whatever. So that's really valuable and exciting. And then I have a course coming, which I haven't talked too much about. It's going to be live next week. I'll talk a little bit more about it tomorrow, but it is the video marketing method. If this winner, they are the only person that will ever have this high of a discount. It is up to them if they want to use it, but they will get $400 off the entire course. And they also get a choice of the 3 products that are live already. We have the Level Up course already, which talks about YouTube, everything you need to know about optimizing your YouTube channel, setting it up, and getting yourself on track to start making money on YouTube. Once you hit those basic requirements, it's the only social platform that pays you just to make content. On Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you are not guaranteed income ever. You can gain a following and then hopefully attract brand and influencers or other companies that want to pay you, but that is all on you. Whereas YouTube, the second you hit those requirements, you are making money off of your views just for purely creating that video. So that's really, really helpful. And as just like a business owner, creator myself, constantly thinking about different and multiple revenue streams to constantly make money. Then the second one is funnel your content. This one actually talks about a bit of what we're talking about today. This is such a small part of what that course is, but it is teaching you how to take one video and turn it into 34 unique pieces of content. If you've got an email blast, if you've got photos for your Instagram stories and your posts, if you need ads done, if you need an IGTV series, all of that you can create from one video. And that way you can create less content, but actually be posting more and focus on hard sales or delivering more value or more clients, whatever it is. And then the last one being Batch Like a Boss. That is a 2-day workshop where I taught you how to create a month's worth of content in 2 days. So you can have any of those courses for free. You can pick one, whichever one you want. All you have to do to win all of these prizes is just refer the most people to this group. So you can send them the link. I'll put it in the bio when I'm done here, or in the description. You can just tell them the name of the group. And then either way, so the name of the group, Digital Marketing Tips for Entrepreneurs and Business Owners, they can search it and find it. And then when they ask to join, they will then have a question at the end that says, how did you hear about us? If you were referred by anyone, who? And so they'll tell us if they were referred by you, or you can also reach out to me, DM me, find me anywhere in this chat, don't matter, and just tell me, hey, I invited, Carrie, Tom, and Dan. You should expect to see maybe them join. And then I will make sure that you get all your points, and whoever has the most referrals to this group wins all 3 of those puppies. Number 2, we have a participation prize. So this, all you have to do, and I'll allow this to go a little bit longer so people can catch up. But all you have to do is basically like any of these lives or posts, comment on any of these, ask questions. You can also just tag me on any social media platform, and you could do an Instagram story of you watching these lives, of you filming content and say, inspired by this challenge I'm doing, or anything. You don't even have to promote it. You just have to tag me so I know that you're actually participating or doing the work. I'll give you some love. I'll reshare on my socials, and then that way I can mark you off for these points, and you can win a 60-minute strategy session. The same thing applies. You'll get a form. We'll customize it. Anything under the sun for 60 minutes, your time. We're going to talk about everything to grow your channels. And then the last one being team prizes. I posted yesterday the division of the teams. So we've got Team Midnight, which is anybody with their first name, A through M. You are Team Midnight. And then we have team sunrise, I think I went with. I was like sunset, sunrise. I went sunrise. And that is whatever comes after M, N through Z. And then, so you guys are the second half, and this is your first name. So those are the two teams. And then at the end of this week, maybe I'll go into the weekend, I'll see how many team members sent and submitted the most homework. And you'll get a free group coaching call. I will set up a time. You guys can all join. And then even if you can't make it, you will get the recording. So boom, free group coaching call. We can talk about anything. I might send a form, see what we want the conversation to guide to, or it can be free form. Okay, let's talk repurposing your content. I'm going to talk about these for a few minutes, and then I'm going to show you a few of the editing things and how you would repurpose once you have your video kind of done. So yesterday we talked about basically how to take your video, trim it down. So maybe in the beginning we talked about there being dead space, or maybe you push record, you're adjusting, you're making sure everything looks good, and then you start. So all that extra space, that dead space before you've actually started, you want to trim that down or delete it, slice and then delete that front section so that you're starting strong. You're starting with, hey, do you want to know how to whatever? Listen to the rest of the video. That's what you want to start with. And then we talked about trimming the end, same thing. If you end, you kind of want it to cut off as soon as you're done talking. For most of these social platforms now, we're moving into high engagement rate is based on, for video, like how much they're watching for most of the platforms. So if you have a 15-second video or even a 60-second video, if you have a lot of dead space on either end, people are more likely to leave. So even if they watch most of your video, but then at the end, it's even a couple more seconds of you going to turn the camera off, or you saying, and yeah, well, that's it. And then you go to turn the camera off, that's extra space that they could be like, oh, she's clearly done, or she's wrapping up, and I'm going to leave. So you want to keep it as enticing and trim right into the kind of the meat of the video on both ends, so that you're starting really strong, hook them in those first couple seconds. That's crucial. And then you also want to kind of trim at the end here. Put it on the rug. Sorry, my dog was playing with a toy. That was a little loud. And then, so by the end of it, then you can export your video. We talked about how you could use iMovie. We talked about how you could use a different app, InShot. I'll show you both again today, just to take out those smaller pieces. Then quickly, I showed you kind of how you could slice parts in the middle of your video. Say you have the word say you have something fall in the background, or even say you were doing a whole take, you messed up one line. I taught you how you can clap so the audio will spike, and you can just restart that line rather than being like, oh, I messed up this video, and you start all the way over. You do not. If you mess up one line, you stumble over your words, you just stop, you clap so you have that audio spike when you're editing, you can see it, and then you start that line again, or you start that kind of thought process again. You don't have to go all the way back to the video. So this way I'll show you again how you can just trim those middle sections out. But that's what we talked about yesterday, so that you had this video. I also showed you CooneyCam, which is an app. You could add like a video filter. You could adjust the brightness, the contrast. You can add they have preset filters for video, which is so helpful if you want a cool vintage feel, if you just want it to be brighter, whatever it is, you can actually affect that in that app as well. So I showed that so that today, hopefully you have something edited. The video filter is totally optional, but you have it trimmed down to a place where you like it. Now, here's where we are. First things first, I want you to think about, you can write it out, what platforms are you on? So that's always going to be the first question. If as an example, I have a YouTube channel, let's say, I'm on Instagram, let's say, and Pinterest, okay? Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube. So if that was the case, I have this 3 to 5 minute video, which was yesterday's homework, edited down. Let's just say if you are on YouTube, that's your video. You don't really need to repurpose anything. Like, you're starting with the long form, upload it to YouTube, optimize it for your YouTube channel so people can find it. That's all in the Level Up course. And then boom, that's one platform. You're already done. Now think about, okay, I have Instagram. So what goes well on Instagram? I could do a carousel, or I could just do a single post, right? Just a photo. Then I could do stories. I could do an IGTV. I could do a reel. So there's a couple options here. You've got reels and stories that are about 15 seconds. Then you have IGTV, which could be, 60 seconds and maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes. You kind of, if your video is 3 to 5, you don't really want to use too much of the video. You kind of just want to use a clip that finishes a thought process, especially if you are on YouTube, because you do want to then push to YouTube because you can monetize on it if you have a YouTube channel. So I might pull like a minute clip or a minute and a half clip and then say, watch the rest of the tips on my YouTube channel. If you don't have a YouTube channel, that's fine too. Then you put the full video, you can put it on your IGTV, you can put it on your Facebook post, and just have those generate organic views on those platforms, and that's fine. But if you do have a YouTube channel, funnel to your YouTube channel. Don't have the whole video posted there because, again, you can't monetize, and it allows more of the traffic to go to YouTube, so that video view looks a lot more enticing rather than having 50 views on Facebook, 30 views on Instagram, and another 200 on YouTube. You can then push people to kind of maybe get 600, 700 views on YouTube and all in one place, if that makes sense. So think about the things that you're on. I used YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and blog or Pinterest as an example. I also put for Facebook here a group or a post. You can always just have these as posts, but if you have a group like this private group we have here, think about that too. Are there content pieces you can pull from this video that could be helpful to if you have a private group? If you have an email list, like what's one of your best tips if you did a YouTube video that's like, hey, here are 5 tips on how to grow your Instagram account. Then maybe I put the whole video up on YouTube. Maybe I take one of those tips I talk about for about a minute and a half or a minute and 10 seconds. I'll put that as an IGTV post and then say, hey, go ahead and watch all the rest of the tips on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. Maybe I have a 15-second clip in the beginning where I kind of am teasing that they would want to watch and say, what would your life look like if you, or what would you do if I told you in the next 3 months you could triple your engagement on Instagram? I don't know, whatever. Maybe that was like how I opened the video. Then that 15 seconds, that 10 seconds could then be an Instagram story that teases that your video is live on YouTube and drives them there. That could be an ad. That 15 seconds or 30 seconds could be then an ad you use to promote. If you want to know what I'm talking about or you want to learn these tips, click the button below, and then you link out to your YouTube, or you link out to a free download, or you link out to your email list, and they have to actually subscribe to your email list to watch that video. That's another great way to get new email subscribers, is entice them with something free, a helpful video, a downloadable PDF, a template, whatever it is. So hopefully now your brain is going in a million different places. How can I use this? If you have a website, can you use these videos on your website? Can you use any still or screen grabs across like your page as well? So hopefully you've already listed out the pages that you're on, or the profiles you're on, and now you're starting to think of what are like the time lengths. So now I'm going to go to the second box here. I'm going to talk stills and videos. So ideally, I didn't want to add another thing and overwhelm, but say you are doing a content shoot in the future. We talked about on day 2 of filming 101, I talked about a content shoot list, where basically you compile a full list of all the content you want to film in one sitting, one day, a couple hours, and how you could film it all at once so that you're saving yourself a lot of time, headache, and then maybe you only have to get dressed up once. And then how to kind of compile them so that it was strategic and you could film it more with ease. So one thing I'd probably add to that, if you were going to do another content shoot, is make a note that before or after certain videos, or if you had outfit changes, that you're taking a couple photos, because that's going to be helpful, that you can use as a YouTube thumbnail. You could use as a reel thumbnail. You could use, by the way, I have a freebie. I'll link it in the description. It has 6 Instagram reel templates and 6 YouTube thumbnail templates. So if you struggle with creating any of those thumbnails, there's 6 different ways that you could use them, and then just change the color or text or photo from what I've created for you in those templates. So I'll make sure I link that in case that's helpful. It's free. And then, so in filming, I want you to try and add in a couple photos, just because then you can really set it up nicely. You can pretend you're reading a book, you can hold like a drink, whatever it is, and you can just kind of add some fun photos in that could then be promotional Instagram stories. You could do one of those photos and then say 5 tips on how to grow your Instagram, swipe up to watch my video, or click the link in my bio to watch my video on YouTube. Or you could also have that be the actual post for your Instagram. If you didn't want a video clip, that's fine. So start thinking about when you're shooting or filming to add some of those stills in, those photos. But since we didn't do that, I didn't want to add more to the overwhelm it. Now you have this video, there's usually at least a couple screen grabs you can take that could be the thumbnail, right? Or that could be an Instagram story, fun way to like repurpose it and promote the video. So look throughout this video, see if there's like a few spots in the video where you're not like mid conversation and like doing a weird face, but you're actually like, you started out, or maybe you did like a fun like close to cam, or maybe you're holding up like a makeup palette, or you're reviewing products and you have like a wide eye or whatever it is. Try and find maybe 1 to 3 of those potential screen grabs that then you can just kind of have in a folder and you can use potentially just as something different than the video. So when I'm talking about repurposing, it doesn't always mean only video can you repurpose from these videos. You can also usually grab some screen grabs, or if you've added in some time before or after filming those videos, taking some photos in your outfit or in your props and everything that you have. So what time limited would be helpful? Oh, that was me asking you, based on the platforms that you're on, start thinking about what are the time limits per these platforms that I'm aiming for. If I'm on TikTok, I've got 60 seconds, I've got 15 seconds. If I'm on Instagram, I've got Reels 15, I've got Instagram Stories 15, Twitter, Facebook, IGTV, those are higher lengths. But again, if you have a YouTube, I don't really want you using more than really like a minute and a half on any of those other pages, because I want you to drive to the full video on YouTube. But if you don't have a YouTube, then just put the full video somewhere. If you have a blog or you have a Pinterest, then you want that YouTube. I mean, if you have a YouTube, you can use that and have that be part of related to the post and embed on your website with the blog. But if you don't have a YouTube, that's fine too. And you can just upload the video natively and make it a pin, make it a blog post too. So I just want you to start thinking where you can be plugging these in. And then for your email list, maybe you're pulling one of those clips and start thinking where in this video are there really awesome 15-second or less? They can be like 9 seconds that tease the video. That's fine. You don't have to have specifically 15, but start looking at, okay, what's 15 seconds and less? That could be a good teaser or something fun. What's like a good, maybe you did a Q&A, and so there's a question that takes you about 45 seconds, 60 seconds to answer. Maybe that's one of the repurpose posts. And so start looking through that video and thinking, are there spots organically already in this video that I could just trim down and use as another post somewhere else? This is also helpful if you put the full video on YouTube, let's say, or the full video on Facebook, and then months later, you can also add just a shorter clip. And then if you had all tips posted months prior, now you've got new followers, new people, or maybe people are asking the same question. Just pull that one question that people are asking from that Q&A, and now that's becoming its own organic post down the road. And you have to think of it this way, not all of your followers are also subscribed to your YouTube channel, on your Instagram, on your Facebook, on your Twitter account. So it's okay to like assume that not everyone will have seen your YouTube video all the way through. So pull those clips and post them as native videos on your Instagram. There's a whole different audience of people that are going to find you there. So don't waste that video by just putting it on one platform. Find different things that could work well on other platforms from that video and make sure you're repurposing it. Okay. Last thing, additionally, I'm going to show you in a second how to edit out those ums or small spaces in the middle of your video. And then I'm going to show you how to save them individually. And I want you to start thinking about having a process. If you struggle with this organization of it, that's exactly what I talk about in Batch Like a Boss, is how to create all of this content. And then, on the last day, we talk about what's the process here, because now you have all this content that you filmed, you have all this content you've edited, and it can get confusing. It can be hard to remember where you left off. So I have a start to finish process in the course Batch Like a Boss. It's $47 of how you can organize all your content throughout the process and actually have something that makes sense and that you'll actually use. But just to kind of get you, without showing you like that full process, but to get you thinking about it, you want some type of process, because on Tuesday, when I talked about the filming 101, I talked about that content shoot. I talked about how you could film a lot at once. So I want you to think of each of these stages as batches. I want you to film everything a lot at once if you can, even if it's just like those are 10 videos you filmed all together. You've got 10 videos. Then I want you to try and edit them all together. Find another hour or 2 hours where you can edit every single one of those or close to, because if you're doing all these in batches, you're all creative filming in a batch, then you're in editing mode and you can do it very quickly. And you know where you left off and you're kind of finishing each step so that then you know, okay, they've all been edited and maybe that's just trimmed down. Maybe then all 10 videos need the video filter added or text added. And then you have another step where now you have all these 10 videos ready to be scheduled or posted or optimized and uploaded to YouTube. So you're going through stages all together so that you know where you are. And the more you're doing the same tasks, like if I were to film and then I were to edit that same video and then I were to upload and optimize that same video and then I were to post that same video, those are all different mental like processes and physical processes. So it's using more brain power to actually go through it for just one video rather than if you do the same thing over and over again for those 10 videos, you're going to be quicker at it and you're going to be able to do things much faster. So think about that and have those individually in each folder. You have, okay, here's all the raw videos that I've done. Those are in one folder that are and I have another folder just for them all being edited. I have another folder for them to be added filters or, text. And now I have another a folder that says these are final. They're fully approved. They're beautiful. They've been repurposed. So not only do I have the full YouTube video I like, I also have the 30-second clips from it, 15-second clips from it. I have stills that are edited with a preset I like, whatever it may be. So then you've got this final beautiful folder of a collection of all these potential posts. And now that last stage becomes plug them into your calendar. If you've got a content calendar, plug them in, think strategically. When should they go where? Do you have any important dates that they would be relevant to? Do any of these affect any seasonal or holiday related content? And then if you don't have a calendar, do you want to schedule these in an app like Later or Buffer or Hootsuite? Start that process again. And the last thing is don't forget that if some of these can be repurposed more than once, say you do fall inspired outfits. If you've done that for a couple years, you should have a separate folder of all the fall inspiration. You should have a folder of all your holiday Christmas content. You should have a folder for all of your, I don't know, like videos you do with your boyfriend or girlfriend, because maybe people love that and you want to repurpose those every so often, or on your anniversaries, or when you celebrate milestones. Think about what could be used again and make sure you put those in folders so you're not spending all this time going back and trying to find that one video that I definitely filmed that I could pull another part from. So this is helpful when you're continuing to plug and play your content calendar. And even if you were to film more Christmas content this coming year, you could still use your other Christmas content and get more views on that again, or use smaller clips from it. And so there's a lot to be done. So start thinking about that. Okay, before I get to the homework, I'm going to go ahead and open up my iMovie and show you an example. We love when she's a little slow. If you've made it this far, by the way, I'm actually curious if you'll comment below where you're from. As I see like some of these people join, as some of you join, I see certain profiles that list like where you're from. And so it's cool to see people from all over the states. And I think we have a couple international people. So go ahead if you're listening in or you're joining in at a later time and comment where you're from, because I'm very, very curious. I'm originally from North Carolina and Raleigh. I grew up there, was born in Wisconsin, also lived in Georgia, lived in Maine, settled in Raleigh, and then moved to Nashville, Tennessee for school. And that is where I've lived the last 7 or 8 years. So if you've been in any of those locations, tell me below too, because I love meeting other people from states I've been in. Okay, this is the video we showed yesterday of how to trim down. So I showed you in iMovie of how you could just kind of pull clips in if you want to shorten it, or you could be like, here's all the dead space, I'm talking, or maybe this was a mess up. You're going to click whichever part you want to stop at, and then you're going to do Command B. You can also right click, I believe, and there should be like a split split clip. So that would be Command B, the same thing. I don't know why it's not highlighted. And then you can always do Command Z to undo it. If I was like, oh, wait, that wasn't the right spot. So these are just a few of the keyboard shortcuts. Again, I'm not proficient. These are just like, I want to teach people the basics because this shouldn't be something that holds you back. So let's see, I don't think I have any ums in here, but let's show you if I did, or if I was trying to pull a very, very small clip from here. So I showed you at the end how to pull the audio down because we talked about if you film through a lavalier mic, or if you film through a separate microphone and you wanted to upload the audio in here and then match it to the video, you could pull the original audio that's captured that you don't want to use down. But in this case, we do want to use that audio. So I just pulled it back up so I could see it. And then I used the slider over here so I could really zoom in and start to see those spikes. And so I want to find, let's say I was finding a part in the video and I do say the word or let's say from this little like hump, let's say I wanted to delete that. Let's say that was an Then I would go in and listen, and I can push the space bar once I've selected before it so I can start listening.
And the power of subscribers.
So maybe I wanted like, that's like kind of like a breathing spot right here is when I'm like breathing to the next spot. Let's assume that maybe I wanted to kind of get rid of that. And I could just find where I want as close enough where it's going to fade out. And then I'm going to do Command B. And then I'm going to go on the other side of it. So I'm going to get really close to where it looks like the spike is coming back up. So I'm talking again, and I'm going to do Command B again. And now this is my 0.3 second clip. That is that breath. And maybe it's just distracting and I need to like build up my endurance. So now I can listen to that clip if I want. And then I could delete it completely. I just click that and then push delete on my keyboard. And now I could even pull these little circles in to maybe soften it so it's not as harsh of a clip of like a end start, but it will be an end start because I'm clipping something in the middle, so I'm not going to be perfect, but let's just give it a listen now.
Subscribers and the power of playlists.
But see, that's not the worst thing in the world. It goes right into it. It's so quick. I'm still close enough because it wasn't that much of movement that shifted, that my face and my body is kind of closely related to where I was before. So it's not like and then I, where like you're clipping from another part so you look like you're in a different spot, which also really isn't that big of a deal. But that could be a perfect example of me just pulling out that breath because maybe it's distracting, maybe it just sounds weird, and still being able to use this video.
And with channels that have millions of subscribers and the power of playlisting.
So if I was like, okay, that's good, I could even go through, find another spot where I did a heavy breath, and then just click the part of it, Command B, click the other end of it that I want to include, and then I just click into this highlighted box and push delete, and then it will be gone. Okay, so that's how you do that, and how you delete anything in the middle. And then of course, towards the end of your video, if you want to, you can always just trim by pulling this in if you were doing some fluff at the end, or you can go ahead and find that spot and then Command B and clip and delete. Okay, so that's how you kind of do those quick little switches there. If we're repurposing, all I did was Command and the minus sign, it zooms it less, or you can do it manually. So if I wanted to make it big on my keyboard, it's Command plus. If I wanted to make it small, it's Command minus. I don't know how you say it, or you can manually use this slider too. So now you can kind of see, I also showed you this rabbit means that the speed of it is really fast and it's high pitched. Listen. So you probably don't want to use that extreme of it, but just know that these are options you can do up here and change the speed. This is the speed button. So if you were painting something, I gave the example, and you want to show a time lapse really fast, or you want to slow something down or whatever, you can. Okay, let's assume that it's good, it's edited, this video's done, but now we put it back in iMovie or in our app InShot, and we want to slice it up. We want to kind of divide it into all of the parts that we want to repurpose. Now, this isn't a great example because let's say we edited this up, we chopped it up. I would want to then save this like I showed you yesterday and save it as a file. And then I have this edited one clip. So if you're using your video that you edited yesterday, you're going to re-upload that as a new project in iMovie. And then now you won't have it sliced like this because you sliced it yesterday when you were editing and then saved it as a full clip. So now you're going to upload that edited one that you filmed yesterday, and then you won't already have these spliced, if that makes sense. It will be one full clip. Because that's important, because then you want to find those moments and slice them in here. So let's say this is the full length of the video, even though it's only 13 seconds. Let's say this is a 3-minute video and this was like 15 seconds that I clicked and I was like, I like that. So I'm going to Command B. So I know that that section from the beginning to that 15 seconds is a clip I want for an Instagram story. Then I find another spot in the middle of the video that's like a minute or less. And I go, okay, here's another thing. I'm answering a question. How do I get more Instagram followers? Well, that's a great question. Here's a tip on how you do that. I'm going to do from that question to the end of that answer. And then, then I'm going to clip where that question starts. I'm going to clip Command B where that question or that answer ends. Okay. So then that's another clip I might use. And then maybe from here, I find a really awesome screen grab like that. Beautiful, just super flattering. I can just Command Shift 4 and I could screen grab that here. I would put it full screen and actually take a screenshot there. So I would do this.
How to keep people within your...
And I would find, a potential really beautiful screenshot here. Like, oh yeah, that's a good one. And then Command Shift 4, I can screenshot that if I want. I can push Escape and then go back to the small screen here. Excuse me. So hopefully that helps like figuring out how to find them. And then what I would want you to do is, let's say this is a 15-second that I want to use. This is a minute section that I want to use. And then this was just the extra part of the video that I'm not using, but when I sliced the other two ones, this is just what's left. I'm going to go ahead and click and delete that one because I have my full video saved somewhere else, right? So I'm not deleting my previously saved video. I'm uploading a new project and I'm deleting just the clips I want. Now, from here, the only annoying part is I can't save them individually. So if I were to save this, then it's going to save as a whole clip. And then you're basically having to go in InShot or divide it again. So what I do is I click this one and I'm going to Command C. I'm going to copy it. Then I'm going to delete it. I'm going to save. I'm going to, go over here, File, and I'm going to save this one. It's 15 seconds. I'm going to let it download. You'll see a little pie chart over here fill up. And then that one will save as 15 seconds. Then once that's done, I come back in here, I do Command Z, and it's going to bring that one back in, which is undo, or because I copied it, actually I could just do Command P. What's paste? Command V. I could do Command V, which is going to paste it, or I could do Command Z, which is going to undo that I deleted it. Either way, it doesn't matter. And then now I'm going to click this other one because it already downloaded those 15 seconds that I have for Instagram story. I'm going to delete that one. And then now I'm going to save this bad boy, rename it. And this one's going to be my 60-second or less question clip. And so then once that's done, I can again Command Z if I want to just pull back in all the clips so I have them here for easier access. I don't know, it doesn't matter. But then now I've saved multiple files to my computer, to my downloads, desktop, wherever you send them or save them is fine. And now I can go back and use those clips and put them in my final folder, right? That folder where it's like they're already edited, now they're clipped and perfect to use. So that's how you would kind of edit them separately and then kind of download them separately. It is a little time consuming, but like I told you, if you're doing them in batches, you become so quick at it. And then if you think about it this way, I would rather spend 3 hours or something, or 2 hours maybe filming a whole month worth of content and then editing for another 2 hours on a different day, all that content, and then having everything good to go. Or even if you're just trying to save time and do a little bit at a time, then it's just going to help you with your sanity. So you're not having to post every day and waste all that extra time of thinking about something to post, filming something to post, editing something to post, repurposing something to post, like every single time. That's going to waste way more time. So yes, it does kind of take a little bit of time when you're doing it all in batches, but in the grand scheme, you are saving so much time by doing it in batches. Okay, so that is how you repurpose. I hope that makes sense. I hope you have some type of folder situation, whether it's just on your phone and you're doing them all in InShot. You don't have to do them in iMovie here. You could do them in InShot and you can split them just like I showed you yesterday. And then the same thing, you're gonna hover over which one you want, delete it, and then save. And then it'll take you back. You can push the little back button once you've downloaded it in InShot and it'll save your camera roll. Then you just do the back button. There's a little back arrow and then you can get the other clip back again. You could delete this one and now save it again, go back into the app and undo, and then now you've got your videos again. So it's the same process where you're just going to save them individually and then you have them in your camera roll. So I don't care which process you use. If you save all your videos into a folder, a final folder in a Google Drive and a Dropbox folder, in your camera roll folder, as long as it's somewhere so that you can easily access, these are all the edited clips that are approved, that are repurposed. So you just have this full library of content. Makes it so much easier to just plug it into your content calendar or plug it in to be scheduled, and you're good to go for a while. The only one you can't schedule or like you can't, well, you would just have to optimize your YouTube videos and then you can schedule the public day. But it's not like you can just put the video on a later or scheduling tool app and then it will just like upload, because you need to optimize it in YouTube, which we talk about in the level up course. So just keep that in mind. But again, if you're doing it all in one day, it's going to take a while for these to upload into whatever platform you're using. So while those are going, you have another tab, you upload your YouTube videos, maximize your upload time, guys. Okay, let me go back to my presentation. That is kind of what we have today. If you guys have questions, please throw them down below and I will start answering them. Otherwise, I'm going to jump into your homework for today and then let you go. We're a little bit shorter than yesterday, but they've all been almost consistently an hour. So a lot of information to cover. Today's homework or tonight's homework, tomorrow's homework, whatever you want to do, is to edit 3 clips from your one video. Now, one of these clips or content pieces can be a screen grab. Okay, so I just want you to find a way to kind of look at this video and figure out 3 things that you could use from it. You could find one clip. If your video is 3 minutes and say it was just 3 questions you answered, those could all be individually their own Q&A, right? And those could be repurposed at later times on your Instagram, as an IGTV, as a Facebook post, doesn't matter. So I really just want you to start looking at this video as how many different ways could I use it? And your homework is to just chop it up into 3, and then you can email it to me and I can go, yes, this is going to be perfect for Instagram stories. This is going to be perfect for your TikTok. And I might even give feedback if you've given me your homework of the full video, or you can send them both together if you're behind. Send me the full video and then send me your clips that you chose. Because if there are any other ones that I'd be like, yes, these are good, but I also think this one would be really enticing. Or you should actually lengthen this one and not do 20 seconds and add this part in and make it 60 seconds. So I'll give you some feedback on what I envision as your clips that would be most impactful. But I want you to kind of be empowered here to find those clips. You also know your audience, you know what's genuine to you. So look for those. One could be a screen grab, and that could be something that could be turned into an Instagram story. So start looking at your content pieces, cut them up into 3 pieces, including a screen grab if you want. That could be one of your 3. And the goal is for tomorrow to have a collection of posts. We'll have your full video and we'll have 3 other things we can use. And I'm going to show you how you could like then post them and how you could increase your engagement, your view time, everything on these content pieces. Okay. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a big one. I don't see any questions here. So I am going to, oh, wait, we've got some comments. Let me see. I'm using the app you recommended to edit because you don't have Apple. So we will see if I can download iMovie on my iPhone or iPad. Got it downloaded to phone. Thanks for covering how to snip. Okay, perfect, Kelly. Yes, I know not everyone has a Mac. And so if you have an iPad or even on your phone, you can use iMovie. I've found that on my phone, if I'm using my phone for editing, that InShot's a little bit more user-friendly than iMovie. So you can mess around with both and see what works for you, but both have that split option. Okay, so that's the important part, is that you can split those. And if anyone has further, like if you're just struggling with this, then just find me on this page or DM me, and I'm happy to help, or send like a video screen recording of me actually editing something. I want you to know how to do this because it's really important so that you can keep doing it on repeat. So if you have any trouble, just find a way to reach me. I'm everywhere and I will happily help you. Okay. Thank you guys for everything. I will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to cover engagement strategies. Here's your homework. I will list my email and everything below. Hannah, hello. Good to have you. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you're catching up on all these videos. Make sure you're engaging with all of the posts, asking questions, tagging me so that you can win, referring people to this group so you can win all these prizes. Okay. I'm so excited to give these away and to have conversations with you and help build your social game to the next level. So just make sure you're participating so you can win those. Okay. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.